Today on the Edmunds Head-to-Head, we're getting all trendy as the Range Rover Evoque takes on the Porsche Macan. I'm Alistair Weaver, and as always I'm joined by two Edmunds editors. The oh-so-fashionable James Riswick will be representing the Porsche Macan, and head-to-head debutant Mark Takahashi will be talking up the Range Rover Evoque. The first category up is driving experience. James, this has to be Porsche's home turf.
Absolutely it is, and let's talk performance numbers. The Macan, well, eventually will be available in a less powerful engine, but for now it comes standard in the Macan S with a 340 horsepower turbocharged V6. The Evoque has 240 horsepower. Now let me do some math here. Yep, that's 100 more. And 0 to 60 in 5.6 seconds in the Macan S. The Evoque is
7.2.
So more math, yep, that is a lot quicker for the Porsche. And that's not even to talk about the Macan Turbo, which is absolutely insane. Beyond straight line speed, the Macan S is a Porsche, and it handles like one.
The Evoque's no slouch either. It's got a 9-speed transmission, which makes the most of all available power. And when driven hard, it's actually a lot of fun. Really, it's as responsive as most drivers will ever need.
Come on, I mean, I like the Evoque too, but I mean, everything about the Macan just feels absolutely right behind the wheel. Precise steering, the lack of body roll, just the way you feel when you're in the seat. It feels more like a sport sedan than a sport utility.
Oh, you want to talk utility? The Evoque is utility. It's the only one in its class that has that level of off-road prowess. I mean, it can really get over some tough terrain that would pretty much leave your Macan stranded.
I agree with Mark that for off-road ability the Evoque does have the Macan licked. But as a driver's car, nothing beats the Porsche in the world of SUVs, and for that reason, it gets my point. Moving on to value, now neither of these vehicles even pretends to be cheap, but everything's relative, right Mark?
Absolutely. The Evoque starts right around $42,000. The Macan, 50 grand. And it doesn't come with things like a rear view camera, parking sensors, or keyless ignition. For those, that's going to run you another $2,200.
But at least the Macan comes with all of the options, and I do mean all of the options. I managed to put $71,000 worth of options when I built one on the Porsche site on a $50,000 car. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
It's a bad thing.
Well, it's definitely a crazy thing.
Well, on top of that, the Evoque gets better fuel economy. It gets 24 miles per gallon combined, versus the Macan, which gets 19. That's 26% better.
It's good for its performance, I would say. It's safe, but you get the same fuel economy with the Macan Turbo.
Porsche's option list is one of the great wonders of the modern world, and the reason the company's so profitable. So, believe it or not, in relative terms, a Range Rover is great value. When the Evoque was launched, we raved about its interior, but now, nearly 4 years on, has it been surpassed by the Macan?
You really get more of a car-like cockpit feel in the Macan, and it has fantastically supportive seats. Even the base ones, I don't really see why you even need to get the 14 or 18-way adjustable ones. And it may not have the styling panache of the Evoque, but it is impeccably built. It doesn't feel like any less of a Porsche than a 911. It really does feel like it should cost more than every other compact luxury crossover. For instance, I just love that solid click you get when you press a button.
Well, it's good that you like the buttons because there's like a bazillion of them. Like seriously, the whole thing is kind of a cluttered mess versus the Evoque, which is kind of wonderfully uncluttered and simple. On top of that, it's so wonderfully British. Really, the only dark spot is the slightly out-of-date infotainment interface.
Yeah, and I'm not really much of a fan of the Porsches either, and that's not the only area in which these two are kind of a wash. Back seat and trunk space, they're pretty much on the bottom of the segment, making them not really the best choice for families.
These are really for Gen Y kind of pre-family couples who want to get out and about or, have something stylish. But when it comes to adventure, the Evoque gets the nod for sure.
I've absolutely no idea what a bazillion is, but I do agree with Mark that the Evoque's cabin is a much greater sense of elegance and simplicity. But, and it is a big but, the Macan's cabin exudes a much greater sense of quality. And for that reason, it nicks my point. It's the final wildcard round where anything goes and I get to choose the point. So Mark, make a final plea for the Evoque.
When the LRX concept debuted in 2007, everyone was hoping that Range Rover would actually build something like that. Well, they did, and it's called the Evoque. It stands out in the sea of anonymous SUVs. It still turns heads even after 4 years on the road. And did I mention it's British?
You may have done, and it's a fair point. I know you guys regret Boston.
I might have an uphill climb on this one. However, I would at least say that the Macan is a Porsche. It's built like one, it looks like one inside and out, and it drives like one. And no other compact luxury SUV can match that.
You're right, James. Mark's bottom kissing is significantly better than yours, but I'm still going to put aside my patriotism and give my point to the Porsche. So in the end, it's an easy win for the Porsche. The Macan has 3 points, the Evoque just 1. But that's what I think. Tell us, what do you think? And be sure to click here to read all the full reviews of both the Macan and the Evoque, and subscribe to the Edmunds channel for all the latest videos.